welcome to another ghostly tale. Sitting in a museum on top of a salt-blown hill in Whitby, North Yorkshire, is the only known Hand of Glory remaining in Britain. An essential part of a superstitious burglar's kit until the early 19th century. A Hand of Glory is a mummified hand, human hand at that, severed at the wrist and said to have magical powers. Folklore tales and legends, as usual, give different accounts of the power of the hands. Common conceptions are that the hand could open locked doors, and if the bearer ignited it while reciting an enchantment, the hand could send all inhabitants of a dwelling into a deep, unwakeable sleep. And that's useful for underhand deeds such as plundering and looting. Opinions on how to ignite a Hand of Glory vary. Some tales report that a candle made from the flesh of the original owner, wax and sesame, should be placed in a clenched hand and lit, while others suggest that the actual fingers themselves are lit. But burglars, beware. If one of the fingers refuses to light or goes out, one of the inhabitants is not asleep. Another common belief was that the lit candle in the hand would shine only for the holder, allowing them to see in pitch darkness, while others could not even see the candle. This gave rise to claims that invisibility was one of its powers. It was also thought that you could only put the flames on the hand with blood or blue skimmed milk. Descriptions can be found of how a Hand of Glory is made. Firstly, it must be severed at the wrist. Gruesome, I know. And it must come from a felon, fresh from the gallows. It must then be wrapped and squeezed dry of all blood and fluids before being placed in a jar of salt. After 2 weeks it must be taken out, dusted off and cooked until completely dried. But please, folks, don't try this at home. The most common Hand of Glory tale is set on a barren moor in North Yorkshire. Accounts vary and are often vague with no particular locale, but 2 specific and quite detailed versions have survived. One from 1797 relates to the Spittal Inn on Stainmore, and the other from 1824 to the Oak Tree Inn in Leaming, though they follow the same basic plot. On a dark stormy night on a desolate Yorkshire moor, there is a knock on the door of the inn. Freezing and wet, a beggar enters and pleads to be allowed to stay for the night. The innkeeper has no spare beds, but allows the beggar to sleep in front of the fire in the bar. The owner, staff and guests shortly retire to their beds, all but the cook. She is a young lass who is awake in the back room. She is able to view the beggar through the small pane of glass between the rooms. The cook witnesses the beggar pull a brown, withered human hand from his pocket. He takes a match and while incanting lights the fingers of the hand one by one as if it were a candle. Now, filled with horror, the girl rushes up to the back steps and tries to awaken their master and the other men of the house, but to no avail. They sleep a charmed sleep. Finding her efforts in vain, she goes back downstairs and watches through the window. All the fingers of the severed hand are lit, but not the thumb. The beggar moves around the property through locked and unlocked doors alike, putting things he fancied into his sack. And when he moves into yet another room, the girl dashes to the hand and attempts to put out the flaming fingers. She throws a jug of water over them, only for the flames to burn brighter. She tries water, but with no luck. In desperation she throws some milk and the flames are then extinguished. The spell is broken. Now the innkeeper hears the girl screeching and descends just in time to detain the thief, who, by the way, was later tried and hanged for his crimes. The legends of the Hand of Glory have existed all across Europe for the span of over 400 years. Some believe its name actually derives from mandrake, a plant of the genus Mandragora, which is very similar to the French mandelglaw, hand of glory. The root of the plant causes delirium and hallucinations, and in high doses it can even send the user into a coma. In moderation, the chemicals present in the mandrake root produce brainwave activity similar to that found in REM sleep, and have for a long time been used as an anaesthetic. Some legends state that when a mandrake is pulled from the earth, it lets out a scream which is deadly to all who hear it. References to the Hand of Glory have appeared in popular literature and modern big screen films. Arguably the most famous of such appearances is the magical adventures of Harry Potter. In J.K. Rowling's second book, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the hand is on display in Borgin and Beck's, a shop of dark-natured magical curiosities. To this day, visitors of Whitby ponder the true capabilities, if any, of the hand, with its ill-boding history and gaunt appearance. Did it bestow magical powers on its user? Or was this belief in mystical superiority the reason why so many foolish hopefuls seem to have been caught while relying on these pickled fingers? What is it that draws our interest to the unexplained and the supernatural? Is it the fear and the superstition, or more? The Hand of Glory is truly a bizarre relic, and it might be where you want to visit the museum near Whitby to have a closer look. Remember though, you don't have to be a burglar to gaze at it and wonder. Well, that'll do it. We'll see you all next time.